Hey, good to meet you. I'm Oliver. Steve, what are we on for today? New mountain bike? Are we upgrading or are you just getting into the sport? Upgrading from a GT Hardline? Okay. Why are we upgrading it? It's getting heavy. Chain keeps popping off. Okay. How do you like to ride the bike? Like to hit the more technical terrain, picking the right line between the roots and the rocks? Gotcha. Do you hit some of the bigger jumps? Do you go down to like Bentonville, Arkansas, hit some of those trails? Not as much as you'd like. Sure. So it sounds like you're wanting something efficient enough to keep going with the technical trail, but also something that's going to be a little more confidence inspiring for when you're wanting to hit some of the bigger terrain. Okay. The bike that kind of comes to mind is going to be the Santa Cruz Tallboy. It's going to be a cross-country full suspension bike. And so it's going to give you the benefits of the full suspension, having the front and the rear, but it's not going to have quite as much travel as some of the all mountain bikes. So it's going to have 130 millimeters of travel in the front, 120 in the back. What that's going to do is it's going to make it so that it's enough to absorb the roots and the rocks as you're going downhill to keep the bike planted on the trail. But it's not going to be so much that it's going to absorb all that kinetic energy as you're pedaling, take away from the efficiency. The rear suspension also has a lockout, and so what that's going to do for you is it's going to allow you to flip a switch on it, and it's going to lock it out so it doesn't dampen at all, and so effectively turning it into a hardtail bike. So when you're doing the technical terrain, you can have it more rigid, and so you're able to manipulate the bike back and forth a little bit better and have it more agile, so you can know exactly where that bike's going to go. Then when you're wanting to hit some of the bigger jumps, you can open it back up and it's going to absorb those impacts, so you are going to have the confidence to hit those. Then your GT, I think the chain keeps popping off because it has probably a 3x drivetrain, and so it's got 3 gears in the front, probably 5 or 6 in the back, and so what that does is since those gears in the front have to move freely between the gears, they're not able to put quite as much tension on that chain. This bike has a 1x drive, and so it's got just one single chain ring in the front, and they push all 12 gears to the back cassette, so that lets them put quite a bit more tension on that front chain ring, so it's not going to pop off when you hit the bigger jumps. And so it sounds like from what you've told me how you want to ride, this bike's going to be very capable and efficient on the technical terrain, but it's going to be able to give you the confidence to hit the bigger jumps when you're wanting to hit them as well, without having to trade off between the two. And so that all makes sense. If you'd like, I can roll it to the back to service. They can start their final adjustments, and while they're doing that, I can show you some hitch racks. That way you can carry your bike and all your friends when you go down to Bentonville, Arkansas. All right, I'll meet you up at the front, okay? All right, Steve, I hope that was more what you were wanting. As far as the auto industry, like what draws me to that, when I was working at Eric's, I was hired as a store manager. And so I was manager first, sales second. So I did make commission, but it was relatively negligible. And so it gave me kind of that taste of performance equals success, but not enough to make it, to kind of hit that motivation for me. And so with selling cars being more commission based, I know that's going to motivate me more, because I know that my performance is going to directly correlate to my success. And so that's going to motivate me to go to the next level, rather than I always sort of struggled with salary positions, because I had a hard time finding the motivation to put in the extra work, because I knew I wasn't going to see the extra return. And so cars in particular, it's kind of similar to bikes. When they come to the dealership, they're wanting to buy a car. And so it's my job to find the best car for them, rather than if I was in a different industry, if I was cold calling people trying to get them to buy solar panels. I don't want to feel like I'm badgering them into buying something that they might not even need or want. And so with the cars, I know at least they're wanting to buy the car. They just need help finding the right car for the right price. And so that's sort of my mentality around the industry specifically. And so hope that's what you're looking for. Let me know what you think. Thanks, Steve.